The fact that All For One was literally on his way to destroy and conquer the world, and he saw his arch nemesis All Might standing there, and completely forgot what the mission was. It's a bull in a china shop. To have the amount of rivalry that these two have with each other, I Am Here hit so freaking well. And one thing I've been very appreciative of is even when I really was a lot on social media, I avoided a lot of the spoilers for this series. I had no idea this was a thing. The fact that the rematch, it's here, and I don't know what Tony Stark nonsense my boy's about to pull off. The car, the briefcase, it was transforming. But the fact that a 2-minute scene, if you really take the full picture of what happened, is one of the biggest highlights of an episode that is probably one of, if not the best of this season, when it doesn't say anything bad about anything else, because the whole Todoroki family stuff was brilliant, and as I always say, is the best part of My Hero Academia, but chills when he said, "I am here." You know, I have those full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full uncut thought and hype to any of these My Hero episodes over there exclusively. All Might is him. At first, I misinterpreted what they were going for. I was like, okay, Ida, we got Shoto. I was like, okay, maybe he's like wanting him, you know, just to go tackle and deal with the, you know, the big explosion that's about to happen. And my boy is standing there, waiting for that little bitch to fly past him. And he literally had the "I got one more in me" energy. Like, you think All Might's done? You think he's no longer in condition to fight? And he says, you know what? I got one more in me. And I don't know what he's about to do. I personally assume, based on the preview especially, 21 is probably going to have a little bit of whatever their fight's going to look like. But I think they're going to cliffhanger us for days and make us wait for Season 8 to see the final fight of everything. I mean, we got Deku and Shiggy kind of like grappling hands right now. Apparently All Might and All For One are just gonna, you know, just tango. Everyone else is kind of, we got, you know, the Twice stuff clearly next week. They got a good formula to work with here. And Jesus, man, like the VA work, thinking All Might's just more mentor role right now, but no, like he quite literally said, I got one more in me. And I can't wait to see whatever the hell they're about to do. Now, main attraction was the family stuff. And I've been saying it for seasons now, that the best part of My Hero is the Todoroki family. Endeavor and the whole complexity, the toxicity, the wanting to repair but feeling like you can't, everything about this family dynamic is the single best written thing that I think Horikoshi did in My Hero. 100%. And I continue to think I've seen all I need to in order to feel satisfied with it. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's a pretty broken family. I don't expect sunshine and rainbows to end the whole thing. After this, maybe there is a bit more of that possible, but Jesus, like, what an seemingly ending. Like, I'm not saying there couldn't be an epilogue with the whole family dynamic, but I feel like this was definitely an ending. And what's brilliant about it is you can't even say they bait you with deaths and try to make you think they're going to die and then they don't because they never are going to. Instead, they go, oh no, Endeavor would have died if it was just him. The mom and the brother and the sister would have died if it was just them plus Endeavor. But add in Shoto and have them combined, that's the only reason they got out of that situation alive. It doesn't take away from everyone's amazing feats. Shoto coming in and doing that glacier attack was insane, but if it was just him, he would have died from that and probably wouldn't have stopped enough of the explosion. So the idea that not only, I mean, I'm not sure, it looks like it, and if they go this direction, I think it would be incredibly symbolic. It looks like they all are going to have scars now and burns, which would be incredibly heartwarming. Like, I mean, obviously it's a bit of a disfiguration, but given the whole idea of what this show's represented for this family, having them all marked and bonded in that way would actually be kind of sweet if you think of it. But I love the idea that Endeavor, he thinks he shouldn't be near his family and deserves to not exist. Dabby's literally saying, I hate you, Dad, you don't deserve to exist. So he's like, you know what? You're not going to bring anyone else into this. You and me will die together. Powerful as hell, and he quite literally would have died there. But then you add in the mom, then you add in the brother and the sister, and their ice is enough to start cooling them down. It doesn't stop, but it gives them a bit more buffer window, because had they not done that, they wouldn't have got there in time. And it would have killed a lot of innocent people. And the idea that we have fast as hell Ida just doing his thing, and then we make a makeshift airplane out of ice, and the fact that it's not just the ice to add in the resistance so that the air is properly like pushing them. He also uses heat in order to make the wind gun. It's like such a clever idea, and him coming in and just beautiful, absolutely beautiful moment, such a powerful moment, well produced. There are gonna be people, I am sure, because I've seen it all freaking season, they see these wonderfully produced episodes and they take 5 to 10 shots, because this episode, I mean, we are 19 episodes into a season that has not had a single moment to breathe animation wise. And there's some faces, like when my boy's looking down at All Might, sometimes his faces were looking a little goofy, I ain't gonna lie, but the animation ain't letting up, and it just gives you that excitement, and that's what the season represents. The whole season was just slideshow animation and poorly drawn close-up shots, so yeah, I understand why people are gonna bitch and moan. But when you're getting this Sakuga fest of explosions of ice and fire and just all the craziness that we're seeing, you can't say it's an underproduced episode. You can't say, oh, they did a discredit to the manga because the manga panel had a single panel that was beautifully drawn, when they're giving us minutes upon minutes of this amazing animation. Like, they cooked with this season. And it's, as I say, there is absolutely no way people are still trying to say this season isn't it visually. Because the shit people be referencing is like 4 episodes out of a 25 episode anime that looked better, not taking into consideration that we have, since quite literally episode 1, been fighting a whole goddamn army in a world-ending threat. It's amazing what they've been able to accomplish, and season 8 clearly is going to be absolutely bonkers too. Probably not quite as bonkers, like the final battle will probably surpass anything that we've seen, but in terms of like an overall scope of like all these sides, like season 7 is just absolutely insane. A 2-minute scene, if you take all of All Might's interaction, is going to be probably the most talked about thing. And I don't say I blame anyone, but you have to put respect on the Todoroki family. They are now marked by burns. They were finally brought together and got the therapy they needed. I mean, if Dabby pulls through, whatever he's made out of, study him in universe and My Hero Academia, because he's the cure to every disease in your world if he pulls through to that one. Endeavor stuff, just thinking of where he started and the abusive family stuff once we started to really learn more, to see where they've gone and how it's never just been a forgive and forget, but just goddamn, the actions speak louder than words, and Endeavor's actions have spoke volumes of who he currently is as a person, and the amount of growth he's undergone to deserve a second chance at his family. It's, come at me haters if you disagree. Thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we have full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Crowley AC, The Gentleman, Derek Nickel, Trap Senpai, Andre, Darthwin Wright, and we also have Eric Barton. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.